Salam alaikum, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. I wanted to share an old family recipe with you, and it was actually one of my great-grandparents that developed it around 150 years ago. So I hope you enjoy it. We're going to bake today molasses sugar cookies. Here we go. So we've got ginger, cinnamon, cloves, molasses, all vegetable shortening, baking soda, and we are going to put 3/4 of a cup, which is 180 milliliters of shortening, and we're going to melt it. I just added 1 cup of white granulated sugar, so I put 2 half cups, 120 milliliters twice, so that's 240 milliliters. And now I'm going to add the molasses. Now I'm adding 1/4 of a cup of molasses to the sugar and the oil. Now you're going to add 1 large egg. So that was 2/3 of a cup of Crisco oil melted, 1/4 of a cup of molasses, and 1 cup of white granulated sugar. Okay, now we're going to heat up the oven to 375, and we are going to beat this and mix it all together very well. Mix your ingredients in very well, and then we're going to move on to the dry ingredients. Now we're going to add 2 cups of white flour, and that's 480 milliliters, 480 milliliters, or 2 cups of white flour. Now we're putting in 2 teaspoons of baking soda. That's not baking powder, it's baking soda, and 2 of these in with the flour, and I actually already put mine in. So now I've added 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of ginger, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cloves, and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. So 1/2 teaspoon salt, 1/2 teaspoon ground cloves, 1/2 teaspoon ground ginger, and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And now we are going to blend it together. Now it's all blended together. It's not supposed to be wet. It should be in kind of loose, crumbly looking, because we're going to form it into balls and roll it in sugar. You're going to roll your dough into about 1 inch to 1.5 inches in diameter, and put it in the sugar and roll it. So it's going to look like this, and then you're going to put it on your cookie sheet. So your cookies are going to look like this on the cookie sheet, and you're going to take a fork and press it down like that. Just take your fork and press all the cookies down until you've got them all kind of flattened down a little bit with a nice design. And then we are going to put them in the preheated oven. It's already at 375. These cookies are cooling on the rack. They just got out of the oven. They were baking for about 7 minutes actually. And once your cookies are cooled off, this was the first batch, you can sprinkle some icing sugar or just add a little water to some icing sugar to make a frosting, and that will harden, and just let them cool off and they're good to go. This recipe has been in my family for 150 years. It was developed by one of my grandmothers. I hope you enjoy it. Well, I hope you enjoyed that recipe, and I hope you enjoy it for many years to come. I want to share some of my other favorites with you, so just click on this little thumbnail to see another one of my recipes. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. And we're doing a little bit something blooper.